All the stuff I would say would be during the game anyway, so I'll just get started. Skip this cutscene here, so I'll just go back to it. The game starts off with an auto-scroller, which is pretty lame, but the rest of the game's fun, so it makes up for it. You don't actually have to kill this robot thing here for any %, but since we've got the time, may as well just do it for swag. Just get that secret bonus point. You know we're not going for all SVPs, but whatever. It doesn't cost any time, so... Also, it kind of complements the incentive, which was met by Barra, I think, for $5 for playing basketball in this game. Yes, I don't have to do anything for 50 seconds. I can clip into the floor here, but it's not going to do anything. So I didn't get it. Beano heads. There are beano heads you get in the game, which you need for the secret bonus points. I could have got damageless on this stage easily, but we're not doing hard mode %, so it doesn't matter. Before the floor stops there, you're supposed to try and line up the third, in between the third and fourth spike here. But it's easier said than done. There are visual cues just then, but I didn't get it. But it's a negligible time loss, so it doesn't really matter. You just wait for it to bounce 5 times. The shock bullet things here, in the Japanese version, they don't deal damage, and the pattern's a lot easier to recall. It's more random, but it's more safe. But in the Japanese version, there's a dialogue that you need to skip past before this boss appears. It's the first scoreboard of the game. When I hit a jingle, I'm just going to spam start to skip past it. Since we're not doing OSVPs, I'm just going to jump past the training doors here, because I don't want to accidentally go inside them. So that's a time loss which isn't necessary for this category. I've got 1 second. No, I didn't get it. You're supposed to boost onto the orange head case thing, orange Beano. And it's supposed to deboost off the enemy afterwards, but I didn't get it. It doesn't matter. We are doing the basketball category, so as far as I'm aware, the pattern for these basketballs are pretty random. What I'm supposed to be trying to do is getting them into the star hoops and not the ones with the weird eye pattern thing you can see. I'm supposed to try not to let the bombs fall into the hoops, because that will get a star point away. And also if they hit me, then it deals damage. So as much as I do need to go in to stop them from falling into the hoops, I do need to also try not to take damage. But I'm not doing damage, so it doesn't matter too much. Because we got one of the basketballs in the evil hoop, as I would like to call it, one of the cannons has gone, and this version of the game sucks, so I didn't get it that time. Yeah, the incentive's been met. I'll probably do the second one if we got time, but if I'm not on a good pace, I'm probably just going to skip it, because there's no point, because we won't be able to get all the codes at this rate anyway for the secret ending. Also, another thing about this game, to get the secret ending, you need to wait through the 17-minute long credits, which we're not going to have time for, and it's not really a fun thing to watch in a marathon either. If I do get that far, which I'm probably not, but hey, if I do get that far, then you can just come onto my stream afterwards, and then we can watch the secret ending if I manage to get all the basketball points. If not, I have found out through... Yeah, I've sat there before at the keypad at the end of the game, and I've literally tried 10,000 times, and if you don't get the basketball points through the game, it just doesn't work. I don't know why they have the keypad at the end of the game if they're going to do that, but whatever. This boss is just a dove, and we're going to hit this thing at the end of the screen. I didn't get all the cycles. And I didn't get the one cycle. It's all good. We jump up these bits here to get extra continues to avoid having to use the level select code later on if I die a lot. It's this fish not going to this part of the game's easy, so. And here's the sort of first mini cutscene of the game. I'm not sure quite how to sum up this storyline, but the way to get the proper gist of it is just to play the Japanese game a lot. But I don't play the Japanese category because although there's less RNG, some of the bosses are a hell of a lot harder, and so it's not worth it, especially with this estimate. I mean, this estimate's actually a below average estimate. Because we're doing a hoops incentive, it's probably best that it's there. Also, the last boss can be a bit troublesome at times. Might get it tight to the estimate, but we just have to wait and see. As I said earlier, if it does go over estimate, then and other people do want to go to their slots, then I can always just continue on my stream, and whoever wants to watch it, come over there. But until then, let's not worry about that. Here we sort of have a diagonal hitting thing. Start aiming for the head case here after the barrier comes down. In Cronoon, who has the world record for every category in this game, because he's really good at Genesis games, he recommends that you hit it when the light shows. Whenever time I've done that, it's always been too late and I don't get all the hits in, so I don't go for that. Maybe that's anecdotal evidence, maybe I'm just bad at the game, but whatever. Different things work for different people, and I'm not at his level, so who am I to judge? No, it's still an estimate pace, so I can play basketball again. See if I suck less this time. There's my alarm for getting ready for this slot, but obviously I've started early, so... There we go, we got it this time. Right, that's the first number of the game. We need 4 digits at the end of the game for the secret ending, which we're not going to watch on stream, but that's aside from the point. This pop-hit pattern here is pretty RNG. It's safer to kill the bottom pop-hit first, so it doesn't move around and do some weird stuff which can cause a lot of damage. So I'm just going to spam here. The thing the dogs drops earlier is RNG also, but at the same time, I kill it quick enough for it to not matter, because I just go for the cycle at the start, grab the hammerhead case, and then I just deal damage that way, and you pretty much just ignore the caterpillar. Although I did hit the caterpillar, but that's because I wasn't in a position where it would lose time anyway, so I may as well just kill it before I go for it. See if we can get the one cycle here. This pattern's also slightly RNG, but I just need to go for the star bit head case at the bottom. Make sure not to get hit by flames. Two bits off. Here's his ballerina costume coming into play. The piece you need to hit first is RNG. This time we got the worst RNG, we need to hit the middle one first. And I took damage there, but it doesn't matter because I have plenty of health. This should do it. There we go. Please don't soft lock. Okay, we didn't get the soft lock, so that's good. There's a possible soft lock in this boss, which I'm not sure can happen in the second phase, but it can happen in third, which we didn't see, which is the robot phase, which you only need for the OSBPs category. So you can get to the Beano head. Beano's the name of that white character we saw earlier. White cloud, weird thing. Here's the second mini cutscene of the game. I mean, the Clogram and Headdy is kind of a mini cutscene, but not so much as this. This plays more into the storyline, I guess. We're gonna go for the 1 second time gain here. We're probably not gonna get it, but I'm still gonna try and do it just for swag. Oh, we got it. 1 second time gain. Oh, it didn't go this time. It's pretty jank, but well, it's swag. Didn't save time technically, but you know, I had to go for it. Looks cool. I'm gonna deboost off the floor here. Wait for this to come down, because there's no time save you get from that. Use the bomb to damage this thing. Deals a lot of damage to the bomb head case. It will be using it for the Gatekeeper boss later on, which I do believe is a reference to Ghostbusters, and it is a really... It's the toughest part of the game, the hardest boss. This, a part that's more execution based, but it's a lot harder to die to it, so we don't consider that the hardest part of the game. But Gatekeeper's also RNG based, so you can get good RNG and get a good run just off of that. See if we can get the first try super tank skip. No, we didn't. Second try? Yeah. See if we can get the totem skip. Yeah, we got the totem skip. Then jump on this thing and jump at the edge. Damage this thing. Go for the fast trap to get to the jelly bean. We need that jelly bean so we can do the fast trap for this next segment. Except we don't, because we're going to play basketball. Yeah, we still save time from doing that, even if, you know, getting the jelly bean is pointless. Save just enough time that we have time to play basketball. I suck at this. Eight more to go with only one cannon. I don't understand why Kitsune. I don't know why. I don't understand how Kitsune and Kronin are so good at this. That was bad. I should work on my game. Still gonna go for the other ones if we have time. And I just screwed myself over there. Yeah, you just hit the fan and it stops it from spinning. The rest is self-explanatory. Here's the only dialogue in the N% category. I'm just going to skip past it. By pressing start instead of just spamming A. Right, because I'm scared of the RNG I'm going to get in the next segment, let's just play basketball first. And that's a terrible start. I think that's the worst I've ever done. Oh well. At the end of the day, let's just say it's not much of a time loss. But now the maximum numbers we can get is 3, so I can't do the secret ending anymore. You know, we can still play basketball. Just think of it as that. It's not about the secret ending, it's about the journey. It's about playing basketball. It's about Space Jam. It's about shooting those hoops. And my alarm has to go off during Stair Wars, the most RNG part of the game. Another point to note is, in the Japanese version, this pattern is consistent each time. Whereas in the American version, which is the version I'm playing on, when it comes to the rate at which it comes to the middle is completely random. Like, this is a really good stairwell actually. But usually it's horrible. It's been better. Cronin's had a 107 in this stage, so statistically that's the best stairwells we've ever had in human American history. I think the TAS stairwells are slightly better, but not by a huge margin. It's by Blaze Flozard's TAS that we now know there is no RNG minute we can do for the stairwells. We just need to jump up to the top, hope that we're going to get good RNG, and just, you know, turn around. From the direction that the bear cat thing, trouble rune thingy, comes from, if you duck in the opposite direction, he moves to the other side of the screen faster, so that is some time saved there. realise we're taking no damage, and that's when I'm going to start taking damage here, isn't it? I'm going to start realising that I'm playing quite well. But no amount of playing well can deal with how bad this RNG is at the moment, because we got 3 in a row at the start. It looked like it was going to be a good pace, but he hasn't, or they haven't charged to the middle in quite some time now. I think it's a couple more hits. Last hit, I think. And I have to... There we go. That's the most RNG part of the game over and done with. Now we just boost up here. Turn my alarm off because it's really annoying. Get rid of these bowler things. I didn't quite get the best pattern there, but you know, stop around here, and we do a diagonal boost. I was going to do a diagonal boost because I would have got hit by one of the blue balls there, so I guess you could say I would have got blue bowled. I'll have to take damage here. Gonna go for the time stop again. Wait for this cycle to end. The reason you go to the middle there is because it's a time loss, because he goes to the middle after, if you're at the edge, he just walks in the middle, which is a time loss. Here's the most execution-based boss of the game. I'm just going to deboost off of his right arm. Nah, I didn't get the 2 cycle. That pattern's really hard to get down. It's a 2-frame cycle. There's a specific pattern you can do, but I've not mastered it once. Right, let Bina go past there because I'm not doing it. You're all SBPs. Yeah, in case you're skeptical about me saying this is the worst version earlier, objectively, it's pretty much the same as emulator. However, statistically, not empirically, but statistically, this PC version is the worst. Because if you look on the leaderboard, the emulator times are better, the Wii Virtual Console times are better, of course, the main console times better. JJG has the world record for the PC version. I know on my YouTube it says I have it, but that's because I didn't check the obsoleted ROMs. And that's also because on YouTube his ROM's not actually up there anymore, because when he got a better time in emulator, he just took it down because he was biased with it. Because, you know, although it's a PC world record, come on, it's the PC version, no one cares. It's just ironic because it's the version I own. I don't have the console version. Also, me owning this Steam gives some money to Sega, so whatever. I was going for damages there and I majorly screwed up, but it doesn't matter. We don't need to use damages, it's not hard mode percent. Let's go to the right. that bird head case is probably the second worst thing you can pick up in the game. It's basically the flying version of Fat Face. Because although it can deal like damage, it deals barely any compared to the BB gun and the laser. So it's just a massive time loss. We're gonna kill this jaw thing first. Stop it from releasing stuff. Kill this turret. There's no point in killing the claw yet because if you actually, I know I'm hitting the claw right now and it's probably shouldn't be, but if you hit the claw before this pilot thing goes to the clouds, it actually adds health to it, which is not good. So here's where the damage actually starts. I've actually gave it some health, but it doesn't matter because by the time it comes down from the clouds, I would have killed it. Or it will be killed there. It doesn't matter too much. The ones on the left aren't going to hurt me, so I don't need to care about those turrets. Not quite sure, but I think the Japanese version, these green bullet things, I think they actually deal damage, but in this version they don't. I should kill this claw fairly soon. There we go. Three bird head cases in one segment. That is atrocious. Good thing I didn't go for them. For this next segment, it's actually quick to get the laser, so we're gonna get that. I intentionally took damage there because I'm going to get Jelly Bean here anyway, and it deals damage faster if I just stay to the left. I need to kill these shock ball things. And here he just shoots out ball things. In the Japanese version, as well as for the dog boss, this boss actually has a different colour scheme, and Troll Green itself has a purple colour scheme. The reason they changed it in the American version is so people realise that it's a bear. Although Treasure have further commented, it's not specifically a bear or a cat, it's a hybrid, which is quite weird. I mean, according to what the Wiki says anyway. I've never actually heard it from any of the mouths of Treasure, but I've never heard the mouths of Treasure, so I can't really comment on that. If you noticed, if you hit the top of the boss there, it still deals damage. It's a very weird hitbox, but it's because it's the top of the mid-center line thing. Oh, so yeah, what I was referring to earlier about the PC version, there's more lag at certain parts. There's parts of the game that lag, and on the emulator it lags more, and on this emulator it lags even more, which is not good. I'm gonna take the bottom route. When I first started running this game, I would actually take the top route because I thought it was more safe. But however, since watching Cronoon and seeing that he goes the bottom route, I realised it's a lot harder to take damage. If you go the top route, there's more bullets and turrets coming at you, and you're more likely to take damage and die. So it's a lot safer to go this route. You just dodge the spider thing there, Spooder. Dodge more Spooders and thunder shocks. Sour, please, by the way. Here we dodge a load of Spooders. Sigma 1 from Mega Man X. The superior game to Mega Man 11. Ah, Jake, so let's not get into that debate.
Mega Man X9 when? Right, we just dodged those there because really we're just going to be killing this with the laser because it's quicker as well. Again, it's a weird baby thing, weird infant. This boss is basically portraying the stages of life for a blonde male, which is very, very weird. Because I don't know any blonde male that shoots bullets out of his mouth, or lasers out of his eyes, or any of that random stuff. Treasure are just really weird. They have really weird concepts. Like, you should see their Alien Soldier game. It's got some very weird stuff in it. I mean, it's an alien-based game, so it's to be expected, but at the same time, there's just some very, I guess you could say, imaginative things in there. Like, the alien soldier himself, or herself, or themselves, is just a normal soldier figure, but they got a chicken head. Very bizarre. You know, you gotta love Treasure at the end of the day. They're a really good company, at least in my opinion. Apparently, they used to be the staff for Konami, which kind of makes sense with the style of music and aesthetics. Here, we're just going to be dodging the lasers out its eyes. Per cycle, there is one of the lines where it shoots loads of them out, but it doesn't matter too much. I've actually dying to this boss isn't like not even be the lasers, it's been more so that handle thing that we just saw. We shoot this and then go down to the hand because it kills itself when we do that, and we're not going for all SPP, so it doesn't matter. We don't need to go for the beam head in the middle. Same old mini cutscene, the classic. I think I'm going to have one last attempt at playing basketball. Just to brace myself for Gatekeeper. Okay, this went a lot better. That was close. I almost got into the wrong hole then. This is a family-friendly stream. We don't want any disgusting comments. That should... No. It doesn't matter too much because we can't actually get the secret ending now, but you know, let's just put the numbers in chat for just for swag, I guess. See if we can make some cool numbers. 48. 4 and 8, 48. I'm gonna get 2 SPPs there because it doesn't waste any time. And anecdotal evidence, to me, it feels like an RNG minute, so whatever. That was bad. Apparently, there's a specific pattern to this boss, but you know, whenever I try following that, it doesn't work for me. So what I do is I just count up to 5 because this part of the boss can only bounce up to 5 times before stopping and shooting, which is when Heather will throw that key thing down. Yeah, I've had pretty bad luck with this boss. Mini boss. Oh well, I'm still damageless. Now we have the hardest part of the game. Wish me luck. We're gonna try and get the claw off the edge of the screen to get the bomb head case, which also includes a fat head case, fat face head case, and a invisibility one. But the invisibility doesn't count when it shoots up the thing in the air, like it just did there. Oh, we didn't get it. See if we get it. No, we just got Beano, which doesn't matter for this category. So we got bad RNG there. See if we get it this time. Didn't do any damage. Okay. We've gone pretty bad RNG so far, but oh well. We're still on pace to beat this boss. Yeah, we've got 2 hits in there. For anyone one-on-one delivery taking damage there, it saves a little bit of time. Not negligible, but it does save a little bit. Not a huge amount, but because we've already had the okay, it wasn't the worst. It wasn't the worst gatekeeper in the world, but it wasn't the best either. We just got bad RNG basically. I mean, I did miss the claw at the start, but that was a very awkward angle, and you need to keep it to either left or right. You seem to get better RNG in the right, so you want to try and get the boss to go to the right instead of the left. Oh, but we got the toughest part of the game out of the way, so This part is also hard to get the execution right. I'm going to deboost off the rocket here. Deboost of these guys. That's a bad deboost. Turn mini dad to save my life. Okay, that was unlucky. Is that the first step I've had? Pretty sure it is. But also we have had more health from the basketball game, so this makes sense, I guess. I had to deboost dead, take less damage. Okay. Second death so far. I struggle a lot with this part of the game. It's just such a fast-paced part of the game, at least in my opinion. Whereas if you want to get the fast strats anyway. Probably the one segment I've died to the most. It's slightly RNG, but there's also a lot of execution to it as well. But I'm just going to use the safe strat here because I've died 2 times you trying to use the fast strat. So. Okay, this next part, if you hit the tower, you don't. If you go against the tower, you don't actually take any damage. But we did it too early there. Doesn't matter. Still going to try and take no damage for the next segment. When that thing falls to the floor, is when the next segment starts. Yeah, we got this. We got the clip. Clip for the floor. That's kind of swag. There's actually a potential soft lock here if I do it too fast. I've never done it before, but I've seen other people do it. So if that happens, then we'll just use the level set code. Alright, we shouldn't get it. This isn't fast enough to get it. That was bad. No, we didn't get the boost to the floor. We're going to try and deboost here for the saw. We didn't get it, so deboost off this plant. We got that. Because this version of the game registers things weirdly, I'm going to use analog stick here because every time I get to this part, the D-pad seems to mess up. That's also another reason why the PC version's inferior. There's more delay, which means hitting the things from the start of the screen to get a time save is a lot harder to do. Yeah, we didn't take damage there. Just going to try and clip through the wall here, and we did it. We didn't have to do any of that time loss stuff. At first, it doesn't seem like there's a lot of potential time gain here, but there actually is. You just need to flip when I first used to do this, I used to just flip and wait a few seconds, but you can just flip instantly and then it deals more damage. For example, it keeps these two bolts together, which is useful. And you just put it back down to the floor. I just flip it and then wait for the bolts to disappear so we don't take damage, so we can try and get the one cycle. Here's what I used to find the hardest part of the game when I first started running it. Because I used to go for the one cycle, which is very hard. Easily the hardest one cycle in the game. We're not going to get it here, but we're just going to spam and deal damage. That was close. And I died there. We got continuous, so it doesn't matter. Yeah, I've never gotten the one cycle down. It's just a very hard trick to do. Especially for someone that's only been running the game for like 2 months like me. It's more something that you're supposed to do after running this game for like a year. But this is the first game I started running ever. It's the thing that got me into speedrunning, because it's one of those runs where it's like, there's a lot of execution involved, but it's not too fast to the point where if you don't have the best reflex in the world, like I don't, see there, that was both me having bad reflexes and me being stupid. Cronin's classic profile picture on Twitch. Make sure I actually flip that this time. And we're going to get the last hit. We're not going to jump here because it makes the game lag more, and we're going to struggle to get estimate pace as it is, so let's just leave them for now. We don't need to because we've got enough continues and lives. Cronin's profile picture right above me there. Yeah, we've got enough of a surplus of lives to justify not jumping to get the continuous there, and also even if you do, we use the level set code. Here's the hardest auto scroll of the game, but we're going to use Pirius skip to make it easier. Pirius is the one who discovered this. He doesn't run the American version, but he does run the Japanese version, and he does have a respectable time. Ice Casino's got a better time, I believe. Which Ice Casino kind of undermines himself there, because he has a better time than Pirius in the Japanese version, but because he doesn't have Cronin's time, it's easy for us to just compare ourselves to Cronin and go, oh, we suck this game, but at the same time, Cronin's really good at this game, playing it for years. Probably doesn't drill it as much as I currently do, but you know, still. The fact that he has world record in every category kind of says a lot. But I still think I'm pretty bad at this game because I am 10th place. I was last place for like 2 months since running this game, but gone up to 10th now, which is less than 10 minutes off world record, which is pretty bad, but yeah, gotta start somewhere. So yeah, I got the highest auto score in the game there without dying, which is good, and I picked up 2 lives. So I made up for not picking up the continue, but picking up these 2 lives. And after this is the segment which I've never seen anyone get damage on. It's not hard to die in it. I mean, it is hard to die in it, but it's very hard to not get hit once. Well, it is. You have to intentionally die for this boss for all SPPs, but for any percent, it's really hard to die to it. I don't like. Maybe when I first played casual, I died to this, but ever since running the game, I've never died to it. But I definitely take at least 1 point of health each time. My personal best for this is taking 3 bits of health. Cronin's is 1 bit. I've never seen anyone do this damage, as I've mentioned. I'm just going to pick up the jelly bean here in case I don't get damage. This also helps for the next boss, which is very RNG based, so you don't want to take your chances there. And yeah, there we go. First blood, already taking damage. That's how hard it is to take damage with this boss. Yeah, this isn't PB pace in the slightest, but you know, it's estimate pace. Let's just say that it's estimate pace. So long as the final boss doesn't give me a hard time, which it probably will do with this amount of health. Yeah, take more damage there. Okay, so we're more than halfway done with this segment. So, not specifically fast strats, but for casual strats, if we're doing a slow strat just to get estimate time, if it's pink, we go for star bits. If it's green, we go for hammerhead. And if it's anything else, we go for mini. If it's there. If not, we're just going to have to take the bad luck. Good start. Just spam here, and if I see fat face, we'll stop spamming because we don't want fat face here. Try not to get crushed by this wall here. Yeah, it's a very tight slot, which is why you need to be mini. Right, damageless pace. And now that I've said that, I'm going to start to move back. In before I get crushed by the wall. No, we've got a good RNG there. Fat face. Hide behind the laser here. Watch out for fat face. Good RNG again. Help the fat face. Good RNG again. Watch out for fat face. Hide behind the wall again. The laser wall. For Final Fantasy fans out there, you probably realise there's a very similar to Zeramus. The aesthetic. Please, damageless. Come on, this will be the first damageless. Whoa, please. I think this is the first damageless I've ever gotten. If we get this hit, and if I don't get fat face, please. First damageless I've ever gotten on this game. Well, apart from the Japanese version, first damageless I've ever gotten the American version. Time. Shout outs to Mecha Richter, yes, second place. Sakura Freak, Reverse console world record. Wilbo, who unfortunately has last place, but he's the only Scottish runner we have, so you know there's that. Aerospace, who used to have world record 12 years ago. Who else can I think of? Since I'm on a good pace, I'm just gonna.
Good job, Tommy.
Hey. So.
Good job.
Hey. Thanks.